What if I told you one of the biggest stars in the NBA, a player worth millions, a face of modern basketball, chooses a calmer, simpler life than most people expect? No non-stop parties, no flashy chaos, no constant need to show off, just success, discipline, and something much deeper. This is the story of Jayson Tatum, a young superstar who could live any lifestyle he wants, but may have chosen something smarter. To millions of fans, Jayson Tatum is easy to define. Elite scorer, franchise player, all-star talent, one of the most polished stars of his generation. But off the court, there's another side to him, a side built around peace, routine, family, and staying grounded while the world gets louder. So before the fame, before the giant contracts, before packed arenas chanting his name, he was a kid from St. Louis with a dream. Basketball talent came early, but talent alone never guarantees success. There were sacrifices, long hours, pressure, expectations at a young age. While others enjoyed normal teenage years, Jayson was chasing something bigger, training, improving, learning how to handle pressure before most people even understand it. And eventually, that work paid off. College spotlight, NBA draft attention. Then the moment that changed everything, the league came calling. When Jayson Tatum entered the NBA, it didn't take long for people to notice. The footwork, the confidence, the smooth scoring ability, the calmness under pressure. Some players need years to become stars. And Tatum looked ready almost immediately. Soon, he wasn't just another young player. He was becoming the future of Boston basketball, a city known for legends, expectations, and pressure unlike almost anywhere else. Yet somehow, he kept growing. Bigger moments, deeper playoff runs, louder conversations about greatness. Then came the money, massive contracts, endorsements, brand deals, the kind of financial success that changes lives forever. And that's usually when lifestyles change too. Huge mansions, wild spending, luxury for the cameras, the superstar script everyone expects. But Jayson Tatum's story may be different. Because while fame grew louder, his personal life often looked quieter, more intentional, more balanced. There have been growing conversations about his preference for comfort, private living, and a calmer home environment away from the spotlight. Even a farmhouse-style lifestyle that feels worlds away from NBA chaos. And if that's true, it reveals something fascinating. A young superstar choosing simplicity while surrounded by excess. Why would someone at the top choose a quieter life? Why would a millionaire athlete prefer peace over performance? Why stay grounded when the world rewards flash? The answer might explain why he keeps winning. When the cameras turn off, when the arena empties, when the crowd noise fades away, Jayson Tatum steps into a completely different world. And it's not the world many people imagine, because most fans assume young superstars live one way. Loud houses, endless parties, constant attention, luxury designed to be seen. But Jayson Tatum's off-court image often feels far more controlled, far more private, far more mature. Instead of chaos, there are signs of structure. Instead of noise, there is routine. Instead of trying to impress everyone, there seems to be a focus on protecting peace. And that may be why the idea of a farmhouse-style lifestyle fits him so well. Not necessarily because of the label, but because of what it represents. Space, calm, privacy. A place to reset away from the pressure of fame. I think about what his life is really like. Travel schedules, media questions, championship expectations, millions of eyes analyzing every game. That kind of pressure follows stars everywhere, unless they create a place where it can't reach them. For some athletes, that place is nightlife. For others, it's luxury. For Tatum, it may simply be peace. A home environment centered around comfort, open space, quiet mornings, and time with the people who matter most. Because one of the biggest clues about Jayson Tatum's priorities is family, especially the Bond fans often see between him and his son. That image matters. It suggests a man who values more than headlines, more than statistics, more than image. And sometimes that kind of grounding becomes an advantage. Because players who stay emotionally balanced often perform better under pressure, while others burn energy chasing distractions. He appears focused on what keeps him steady: routine, recovery, relationships, mental calm. Then there's the style of luxury he seems to prefer. Not reckless, not desperate, not look at me. More refined, clean, comfortable, quiet confidence. That difference is important because immature wealth tries to prove itself. Mature wealth simply enjoys itself, even when it comes to vehicles. The image around Tatum leans toward premium comfort and status, but not chaos. High-end rides, smart choices, success without screaming screaming for attention. And that mirrors his personality on court. Smooth, controlled, efficient, deadly, without unnecessary drama. Many young stars struggle with fame. Too much money, too early. Too many distractions too fast. Too many voices pulling them in different directions. But Tatum has often looked unusually composed for his age. That doesn't happen by accident. It usually comes from discipline and from building a life outside basketball that keeps you centered. Maybe that's the hidden power of simplicity. It gives you energy to dominate where it matters most. Fans see the points, the highlights, the playoff moments, but behind every performance, there's a lifestyle supporting it. And in Tatum's case, that lifestyle may be far calmer than people expect. But don't mistake calm for boring, because the money side of this story gets much bigger. Behind the calm lifestyle, behind the polished image, behind the quiet confidence, there is something many people underestimate about Jayson Tatum. He's building serious wealth, and fast, because while fans focus on highlights, the business side of being a superstar can be just as powerful. Massive NBA contracts, performance bonuses, endorsement deals, global brand partnerships, and the kind of earning power only elite players reach. Over the years, Jayson Tatum's value has continued to rise, not just as a player, but as a brand, a face of the league, a reliable star, someone companies trust to represent success. And that trust becomes money, big money, the kind that can transform generations. Jamish discussions around his net worth continue to grow, with estimates placing him in the multi-million-dollar range and climbing. And considering his age, that may only be the beginning. But what makes this story more interesting is how different he appears from the stereotype. Because some stars earn millions, then rush to show every dollar. Luxury chains, wild spending, attention-first lifestyles. Tatum often seems more measured, more strategic, like someone who understands that earning money and keeping money are two different skills. That mindset matters, because athletes have short windows. One injury, one decline, one bad stretch, and careers can change quickly. Smart stars plan beyond the game, and Jayson Tatum increasingly looks like one of them. Then there are the achievements. Multiple all-star level seasons, deep playoff battles, huge scoring nights, big moments on the biggest stages, and constant conversations about being among the league's elite. In Boston, that means even more, because Boston doesn't hand out admiration easily. The standards are historic. Pressure is real, and expectations never disappear. Yet Tatum kept rising, year after year, adding new layers to his game and new reasons people believe he can lead championship runs. That combination is rare. Young enough to keep growing, good enough to already be feared, and disciplined enough to sustain it. Which brings us back to lifestyle, because maybe simplicity isn't separate from his success. Maybe it fuels it. While others get distracted by being famous, he appears focused on becoming greater. That's a huge difference. Fame can steal hunger. Comfort can slow ambition. Noise can weaken discipline. But structure builds legends. And if Jayson Tatum has created a life centered around peace, then he may have found the perfect formula. A private world that protects a public superstar. Still, there's one final layer to this story people keep asking about. What does his future really look like? Can he become the face of the NBA? Will the simple lifestyle continue as wealth grows bigger? And what kind of legacy is he truly building? In part 4, we uncover the final truth about Jayson Tatum's life beyond fame, his future, his mindset, why fans may still underestimate him, and the reason his best chapter might be ahead. And trust me, the ending is bigger than basketball. In the end, the most surprising thing about Jayson Tatum may not be his contracts, his cars, or even his home life. It may be how calmly he carries greatness. Because in today's world, many stars become famous before they become ready. The money arrives fast, the praise gets louder, the distractions multiply, and talent can get lost inside celebrity. But Tatum's story often feels different. Less chaos, more control, less performance off the court, more performance on it. That may be why the idea of a simpler lifestyle matters so much. Whether it's a farmhouse-style peace, a private, family-centered life, or simply staying grounded despite success, the message is the same. He appears to understand balance, and balance is rare, but especially for someone carrying the expectations of a franchise, a city, and millions of fans. Think about the pressure. Every missed shot discussed, every playoff game analyzed, every season judged by championships. That pressure breaks some stars, but others grow stronger from it. Tatum seems to be building in silence. While debates rage around him, he keeps improving. While critics talk, he keeps producing. While people compare names, he keeps writing his own. That's the mindset of someone dangerous. Because players who need praise can be distracted by criticism. Players who stay centered usually keep climbing. Then there's the future. Can he become the face of the NBA? Can he lead more championship runs? Can he turn talent into lasting legacy? Of the answer may depend on the same thing that brought him here: discipline, consistency, and protecting peace while the world gets louder. Because greatness is not only built in arenas, sometimes it's built at home, in routines, in sacrifice, in the quiet choices nobody applauds. That may be why his story connects. He represents something modern fans respect: success without losing yourself. Not every superstar needs to be loud. Not every millionaire needs to live recklessly. Not every legend needs chaos to look powerful. Sometimes real power looks calm, focused, private, unshaken. And if that continues, Jayson Tatum may become more than a star. He may become the example younger athletes study: how to handle fame, how to handle pressure, how to build wealth without letting wealth change you. So, what is Jayson Tatum's life beyond NBA fame really about? Maybe not luxury, maybe not headlines, maybe not proving anything. Maybe it's about building a strong life, so the spotlight never controls you. And if that's true, then his best investment was never the house. It was the mindset. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because here on Life of Legends, we don't just show success, we reveal how it's built. And trust me, the next legend story might surprise you even more.